It was one of the worst days in the company's history. The system had crashed and they couldn't recover it no matter what they tried. It all started when their new CEO, Mr. Williams, came into the office. He was a very motivated person who wanted to change things for the better. He introduced many new ideas that seemed good at first, but soon became apparent that they weren't really thought through. One of those ideas was switching their database servers to a new provider. Why pay $10,000 a month when we can get the same service for half the price? He'd said during the meeting. Everyone had agreed, so the switch was made. But soon problems started to arise. People started noticing that the new provider wasn't as reliable as the old one. Sometimes the system would go down for a few minutes and then come back up again. But other times it would stay down for hours. And there was nothing the IT department could do about it. And then one day the system just went down and wouldn't come back up. At first, the CEO didn't seem too worried. He just asked the head of the IT department to get someone else to fix it. But after 3 days, the CEO started getting nervous. He called an emergency meeting and everyone was called in. He said, "We're losing millions of dollars every hour that this is down." But no one had any idea how to fix it. They tried calling the new server company, but they couldn't get through. They tried switching the system back to the old server, but that didn't work either. The CEO paced back and forth across the room. "I want this fixed by tomorrow morning, or I'm gone." "Nah, fire all of you, and find someone else to take over." And with that, he stormed out of the room. Everyone was shocked. No one had ever heard him yell before. They're all terrified. Meanwhile, the janitor was cleaning out a server closet when he heard the commotion, stopped and listened. "What's going on?" he asked himself. He knew something was wrong because he'd never seen the employees running around like that before. He decided to check it out. He walked down the hallway until he saw a group of people standing around a closed door. He listened in on their conversation. "The system's been down for 5 days, one of them said. "We've lost millions of dollars. We've tried everything we know how to do and nothing works. CEO's going to fire us if we don't fix it." The janitor was shocked. Couldn't believe that these highly paid professionals were so helpless. He walked past them and opened the door. Everyone turned to look at him, and he was met with a sea of confused faces. "Can I help you?" he asked. No," one of them stammered. "No, we're fine. Just go away." But the janitor wasn't convinced. He took a closer look at the faces around him. He saw fear, desperation, and sadness. He knew that they needed his help. "You need someone with a fresh pair of eyes to look at the problem," he said. "Let me take a look." Everyone looked at each other. Didn't want to admit it, but they knew that he was right. So they stepped aside and let him take a look. The janitor walked over to the server and ran his hand along it. He could feel the heat coming off of it. "It's not the server," he said. "It's the connection to the server." Al looked at him in surprise. "How are you supposed to know that?" one of them asked. He smiled. "My son is an IT specialist. He's interning at a tech company this summer. I asked him about stuff like this, and he told me how to diagnose it." The janitor dialed a number on his cell phone. "Hey, son, I need your help with something," he said. "Yeah, I know it's late, but can you come in and take a look at this server? I think the connection is bad." Son was surprised, but he didn't ask any questions. He grabbed his tools and headed over to his dad's workplace. When he arrived, he was met by a group of confused faces. "Where's the server room?" he asked. One of the employees pointed down the hallway. Is this the server?" he asked. The son was shocked. It wasn't a server room. It was just a closet. And instead of servers, there was a bucket and a mop. The janitor smiled. "That's the one I was talking about." The son blushed. "Oh, okay." He opened the bucket and pulled out the mop. He dipped it into the water and started cleaning the server. Everyone watched in suspense as he worked. Finally, he straightened up and looked at them. "There, that should do it." He plugged the server back in and waited. A few seconds passed, and then the screen lit up. The server was working again. Everyone erupted in cheers. The son was surprised. He hadn't realized that this was such a big deal. I didn't do anything," he said. "It was just a loose connection." "That doesn't matter," one of the employees said. "You've saved the company millions of dollars." The son blushed again. He didn't know what to say. He just wanted to get back to cleaning, but the janitor stopped him. "Oh, you wait right here. You're going to hear what I have to say." He turned to the rest of the group. "You all need to apologize to this young man." They did as they were told. "I'm sorry I yelled at you," the CEO said. I was under a lot of stress, and I took it out on you. Sorry, me too, another executive said. We were wrong to doubt you. The son felt bad for yelling at me. I'm sorry, sir, he said. I didn't mean to upset you. I was just trying to help. The CEO put a hand on his shoulder. Thank you for helping us. I owe you one. And that's when the son's phone vibrated. He pulled it out and saw that he had a text message from his dad. Good job, it read. Bring the mop with you next time. Everyone laughed, and the son blushed again. From that day forward, the son was treated like a hero. Everyone at the company knew that it was only because of him that they had lost millions of dollars. As for the new server provider, they were given a second chance. After the incident, the CEO apologized to them and explained that he had been wrong to blame them. He promised to be more careful in the future, and the server company forgave him. In the end, everything worked out for the best. The company was able to save millions of dollars, and the son was able to bond with his dad over their shared love of mopping. The company was having its annual holiday party. The employees were dressed in their finest clothes, and the room was decorated with tinsel and lights. There was a buffet table filled with food and drink, and everyone was in high spirits. The CEO stood up on a chair to make a toast. To another successful year, he said. Here's to the next 10 years. Everyone raised their glasses and cheered. After the party, most of the employees left, but a few of them stayed behind to help clean up. The janitor was one of them. He was putting away the decorations when he heard footsteps behind him. He turned around and saw the CEO. Mr. Williams, he said. Yes, the CEO replied. I wanted to thank you for saving the company the other day. I know I was hard on you, but I appreciate everything you've done. The janitor shrugged. It was no trouble, sir. I enjoy working here. They were interrupted by the sound of laughter. The janitor and the CEO turned to see the son and some of the other employees playing around with the tinsel. Your son is a good kid, the CEO said. He saved us a lot of money. He's got a good head on his shoulders, the janitor agreed. He'll go far in life. The janitor and the CEO continued to chat for a few minutes, but soon it was time for the janitor to go home. Thanks for everything, Mr. Williams, he said. You're welcome, John. Come back tomorrow. We're going to start planning for next year. I look forward to it, the janitor replied. As the janitor walked away, he couldn't help but smile. He was proud of his son, and he was happy to be a part of the team. The next morning, the janitor arrived at work and went to the server closet to get his mop. But it was gone. He searched everywhere for it, but it was nowhere to be found. He walked out of the closet and into the hallway. Just then, he bumped into the CEO. Mr. Williams, he said. Yes, John. Where's my mop? The CEO looked at him confused. Mop? What are you talking about? My son used this mop to fix the server the other day. Where is it? Oh, that, the CEO said. Someone took it to the scrap metal yard. They said it wasn't worth keeping. The janitor was furious. That's my son's mop. I want it back. John, the CEO said, it's just a mop. Why do you care? Because it's not just a mop, the janitor replied. It's a symbol of what my son represents. He's not the biggest or the strongest, but he's always willing to help others. That's why I'm so proud of him. CEO looked at the janitor and knew respect in his eyes. You're right, John. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that the mop meant so much to you. Let's go find it. And that's what they did. They went to the scrap metal yard and looked around. But the mop was nowhere to be found. Just when they were about to give up, the janitor saw something. He walked over to a pile of metal and started digging through it. He could feel the CEO watching him, but he didn't care. He was determined to find the mop. Finally, he pulled it out from under a bunch of wires. It was dirty and bent, but it was still recognizable. The janitor smiled. Thank you, he said to the CEO, for helping me find it. The CEO smiled back. It was my pleasure, John. Now let's go get you a new one. And that's exactly what they did. They went to the store and bought the janitor a brand new mop. From that day forward, the janitor was never without his mop. And whenever he used it, he was reminded of the day that he and his son saved the company.